Her name is synonymous with power, beauty, and intrigue. Cleopatra, the last queen of ancient Egypt, has been immortalized as a cunning seductress, a master strategist, and a tragic lover. But what do we really know about her? Beyond the Hollywood myths and romanticized tales, Cleopatra's life was far more fascinating, filled with political maneuvering, alliances that changed history, and a legacy that endured long after her tragic death. What happened to her children? What secrets did she carry to her grave? And was she truly the last of her line? Stay with us as we unravel the extraordinary and lesser-known story of Cleopatra, the queen who ruled an empire and dared to defy Rome.
Listen up, mortals. Even the Nile can't flow without your support. So, subscribe or risk my royal wrath.
Cleopatra, the seventh Philopator, was born in 69 BCE into the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek ruling family that had controlled Egypt since the days of Alexander the Great. While the Ptolemies were Greek, Cleopatra stood out for something unusual. She embraced her Egyptian heritage, even learning the language of the people she ruled. This made her beloved among Egyptians, who saw her not just as a foreign ruler, but as a true pharaoh. When Cleopatra was just 18, her father, Ptolemy XII, died, leaving her and her younger brother Ptolemy XIII to co-rule Egypt. But this was no partnership. Cleopatra quickly found herself in a power struggle. Forced into exile by her brother's advisors, she fled to Syria, but Cleopatra wasn't one to accept defeat. It was during this time that Julius Caesar entered the picture. Caesar arrived in Egypt in 48 BCE, seeking to settle a dispute between the feuding siblings. Cleopatra, ever the strategist, knew this was her chance. In one of the most legendary moves in history, Cleopatra had herself smuggled into Caesar's quarters, rolled up in a carpet. This audacious gesture worked. Caesar was captivated, not just by her charm, but by her intelligence and wit. With Caesar's support, Cleopatra defeated her brother in a bloody civil war and secured her place as queen. But for Cleopatra, this was just the beginning. Cleopatra's alliance with Caesar was not just romantic, it was deeply political. Together they had a son, Ptolemy Caesar, known as Caesarion. Cleopatra declared him her co-ruler, positioning him as the heir to both Egypt and Rome. For a brief moment, it seemed Cleopatra might unite the two great powers. But tragedy struck in 44 BCE when Julius Caesar was assassinated in Rome. Cleopatra, now a single mother, faced a dangerous world. With no allies in Rome, she returned to Egypt, determined to protect her throne and her son. Enter Mark Antony, one of Caesar's closest allies and a key figure in the power struggle following his death. When Antony summoned Cleopatra to meet him in Tarsus, she made a grand entrance, sailing down the river in a golden barge, dressed as the goddess Isis. Antony, much like Caesar before him, was mesmerized. Their relationship was not just passionate, but also strategic. Cleopatra provided Antony with the wealth and resources he needed for his campaigns, while Antony gave her the political backing to secure her throne. Together, they formed one of history's most famous power couples, a union that would provoke the wrath of Rome. Antony and Cleopatra's love affair enraged Octavian, the future Augustus Caesar and Rome's first emperor. Octavian painted Cleopatra as a manipulative foreign queen who had bewitched Antony, undermining his loyalty to Rome. The propaganda worked, and in 31 BCE, war was declared. The climactic moment came at the Battle of Actium, a naval confrontation off the coast of Greece. Antony and Cleopatra's fleet was defeated, forcing them to flee back to Egypt. From this point, their fate was sealed. Octavian's forces pursued them to Alexandria, and as defeat loomed, Antony fell on his sword, believing Cleopatra had already taken her own life. In reality, she was still alive and grieving. But Cleopatra's death was only a matter of time. she refused to be paraded through Rome as a trophy of war. The details of her death remain shrouded in mystery. According to legend, Cleopatra arranged for a venomous asp to be smuggled into her chamber, using the snake to end her life. However, historians debate this account, suggesting she may have used poison instead. What's clear is that her death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the beginning of Roman control over Egypt. Cleopatra left behind 4 children, each with a unique fate. Caesarion, her son with Julius Caesar, was declared pharaoh after her death. But Octavian, fearing Caesarion as a rival, had him executed, ending any claim to Caesar's legacy.
I ruled empires, and now I rule the subscribe button. Bow down or click it, at least.
Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene, her twins with Mark Antony, were taken to Rome and paraded in Octavian's triumph. While little is known about Alexander Helios, Cleopatra Selene married King Juba II of Mauritania, where she ruled as queen and maintained a legacy of her mother's name. Ptolemy Philadelphus, her youngest son, also disappears from history. Some speculate he may have died young or been quietly removed from political importance. Cleopatra's children were a symbol of her ambition to create a dynasty that united East and West. But after her death, their lives were overshadowed by Rome's dominance. Cleopatra's death did not erase her influence. She became a symbol of both power and defiance, immortalized in art, literature, and theater. Roman writers painted her as a dangerous seductress, but in reality she was a brilliant leader who spoke multiple languages, commanded armies, and navigated the treacherous waters of Roman politics. Her story raises questions that resonate even today. Was Cleopatra truly a queen who used her beauty to manipulate powerful men? Or was she a leader who refused to bow to the might of Rome? Modern historians have begun to reassess her life, focusing on her accomplishments rather than the sensationalized stories. Cleopatra wasn't just a queen. She was a mother, a warrior, and a visionary who dreamed of a world where Egypt and Rome could coexist. Cleopatra's life is a testament to the complexities of power, love, and ambition. She was a woman who defied expectations, challenged empires, and shaped the course of history. But what do you think? Was Cleopatra a cunning manipulator, a tragic heroine, or something far more nuanced? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into her incredible story, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow history enthusiasts, and subscribe for more stories about the figures who changed the world. Until next time, remember, history is never as simple as it seems. There's always more beneath the surface.